First thing I'd like to talk to you about is how to use your feet properly in tango. Now remember, there's heels, balls, inside edge, all right? So heels, balls, inside edge, and then of course we have inside edge of ball, and then the heel. But there is no what? Toes, because that means you would be rising in your dancing. So when you hear the word heel toe, that generally means you're going to be rising up through your legs and your body from your feet. Okay, so we don't do that. So the whole foot is important to understand. So both the man and lady use this, but what I would like to help you understand what it means is a timing idea. So very quickly, in terms of timing for tango, we have staccato rhythm. So staccato means to stop and start. It is the dance that stops and starts. Legato rhythm is long. So that's where we feel the music stretch out. So let's look at this in the context of footwork and timing, and let's understand what the whole foot actually means. So for example, when the man does a closed finish, tango close is the way you want to think of this in the timing. I'm going to go back as the man with my right foot, okay? So I'm going to go back, where am I? Here. So back to the side, right, using the inside edge of my foot, I close whole foot. That tells me as a dancer that I'm going to wait and pause and be very, very still. I don't want to move at that point. But here's where it's really important for the ladies in context of this step. Ladies, when you go backwards on your third step is the whole foot. This is where a lot of people make mistakes. They go, I'll show you how to do it incorrectly, right? So they just keep walking through it as if there's no rhythm, right? There's always a rhythm, isn't there? So when you go back on that third step, you want to feel, from a timing perspective, that there's a lengthening of the movement. So I'm going quick, quick, slow. So the foot stops, the body's long, and then we go quick, quick, slow and catch it up again. So we want to feel that the third step is like the drawing out of the movement. It's the longest part of this movement. All right, now there's another step called the open reverse turn lady in line. Whenever you have these slows, you want to feel that there's a bit of lengthening. Okay, but the whole foot will tell you that. So in terms of footwork, throughout tango, you're going to hear this idea of this footwork position, the actual footwork, whole foot. And when you hear that in your brain, you have to think stop and pause and be still. Now the second tip, stay with me now, let's get into the second tip. The second tip is for the man. The man, what are you going to do with your frame? When you dance tango, okay, first of all, what makes tango tango is your elbow to elbow length, all right? The arm is much lower because you're holding the lady around her back. And of course, this left arm is not up like the swing dancers as high. It's much flatter. I think of it like a warrior, you know, coming to battle, right? So someone's going to hit you here, the sword. So you want to be able to defend your honor. Now, when you're in tango position, you want to feel that you're bringing the lady literally outside you by the third step because of how amazing, how beautiful you dance steps 1 and 2. So when you do steps 1 and 2, right? Step 1, there. And then step 2 is where? To the side, backing diagonal to wall, right? Using the ball, then the heel. Note the feet turn inward a little bit. This is a good thing. This position, right, where my frame and body is, allows my third step to be underneath the body. This is where the lady is passing me, all right? So if I shift that around, I'll come back towards you. So quick, quick here, slow. I want to be able to feel I bring the lady past me because my shoulders have not turned on top of my hips. You see that? So if I dance directly towards you, right? Quick as an idea here. If I turn my body, I now will not be able to step or have the lady step outside me. It's the whole name of the step, outside partner, right? So you have to think about that third step as the most important part of this whole figure is the lengthening of the music, but also allowing the lady to pass you, all right? And that's important because ladies, as you turn, this second step is on the whole foot, right? Isn't it? But because of that, did I say third step before? Maybe I did. Anyway, so it's the second step, it's the whole foot. That's where you've got to pause, ladies, right? And then right foot goes down the line in CBMP. Now that position of the body is because of the man's incredible, immaculate lead, all right? So it's important that you set it up on the previous thing. Now come with me for the third tip, right? The third one. There's actually lots that we could do here, and it's the timing, right? So timing in tango, we've got slows and quicks, of course. And a slow is typically, if the time signature is 2/4, 2 beats to a bar, a slow is worth 1 beat and a quick is worth half a beat. So we'd go 1 and 2 and, which would essentially be slow, quick, quick. So if we look into the context of our actual timing, this figure begins on a quick, which is unusual. So what we want to feel is not starting this movement with a lengthening. We want to feel that we sort of hit it, and then the third step is where the lengthening comes in. What do I mean by lengthening? There's two words to drill into your mind before we finish up. The first is staccato movement. So staccato is like if you just bash the keyboard, like playing chopsticks, dun, 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 dun. That feeling is staccato rhythm, right? So you basically have no tone, it's like very strong, and there's a stop and a start to it. Legato, as I mentioned before, is lengthening. So it's where we want to feel the movement continue. And so the way I think about this is that when I hear it quick, I want to have that feeling of being punchy with the feet. And when I have a slow, I want to try to lengthen it. Now here's the tricky part. Not all steps should feel like this. So if I do a closed finish, tango, close, because of that whole foot action, I need to stop. I want my weight to be very strong and to wait for a moment without any movement. All right, there's nothing legato about this, it's just a definite stop. When I have a movement where my legs open or pass, the open reverse turn, lady outside, because of that slow, I want you to think of it as a long piece of spaghetti, right? So you've got, and from here, quick, then quick, and here, slow. You want that leg to be not definitely slow, but you want your body weight to be traveling or transferring slower than usual. Now I have a video called the 80-20 Rule of Tango. If you've worked with me before, like Derek, what's up? Thank you for tuning in Ballroom Mastery Academy, you'll understand, and some of the YouTube videos I've done, that the weight principle is very important. So my foot will hit the position, I'll transfer my weight slower, thus creating a legato action. See, I'll demonstrate it with a staccato rhythm, right? So quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow, right? It's not even good enough to stay on camera, right? It's just crap. So you want your foot to hit the position and you want your body weight to travel on it a little slower without your feet sliding, okay? Because your feet still need to remain stuck to the floor in their position, okay? So I'm not asking you to like slowly lengthen your leg backwards to create that idea. Your body weight transfers slowly. Now, I hope that makes sense. If not, go back through this video. I want to thank you for being here today.